What's up guys, welcome back to another video. And guys, let me know in the comment section below how many of you guys have either have your permit or also your license. Now if you have your permit or your license, we all know that as we are driving, we are to follow the rules of the road, right? We know the stoplight, we have to follow the stop sign. There's many other signs that we have to follow in order for us to remain safe and also the other cars around us to remain safe, right? It keeps us from accidents, right? And as I was driving, I realized that you really never hear many people complaining about the rules and the laws of the road, right? You never really hear them say, oh, it's oppressive, it's keeping me from having fun, right? But yet, I always hear young people complaining that God's laws and their parents' restrictions are keeping them from having fun. They are oppressive and they need to be abolished, right? So in this video, we're gonna be talking about that. Let's get it. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that everyone is okay with the traffic laws and they're okay with other laws that the government gives to keep our society afloat, right? But many people don't like God's laws because they say that it is too oppressive and too hard to follow, right? And I'm sure maybe you young people have heard that sentiment, or maybe even you all have once had that sentiment that the parents and also God's laws are too hard to follow and that they are keeping us from having fun. But the Bible tells us in John 14 and verse 15 and also Matthew 22 verse 27 through 40 that the basis of following God's law is love, all right? The basis of following God's law is love. So we have to ask ourselves, young people, if we do not want to follow God's laws, and if we don't follow God's laws and also our parents' rules and restrictions that they give to us, it shows that number one, we do not love God. Even if we profess to be Seventh-day Adventists, we don't love God and we do not love our fellow men. That means we are also selfish, right? We have a hateful heart. That is what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, imagine this scenario with me. We know that we are living in 2024. Things are not getting any better, they're getting worse. Every day when we wake up and we check our phone, right, we see all the crime news, right? Killing and stealing and kidnappings, the list goes on, right? Now, this is happening while there are laws and restrictions, right? So now imagine our world without any police officers, without any rules. We can just do whatever we want to do. Guys, imagine our world without any restrictions. It would be pretty miserable, right? And it would be a very dangerous place to live in. So young people, we can all agree that laws are important. They keep us safe and they keep us happy. Now, friends, I'm not naive to this principle. I do understand that most people agree with the 6th and 8th commandment. The 6th being thou shalt not kill, and the 8th commandment being thou shalt not steal. And that's correct, it should be, right? But yet when it comes to other commandments, they do not take them as seriously and they utterly disregard them. Now, of course, I'm not saying at all that the government should force people to keep any law, right? Because we know that though God gives us laws and restrictions, He does not force. He gives each of us free will and free choice. But we know, friends, unfortunately, that in the last days, the government will force young and old to worship on one day, and that day is Sunday. Those who disagree with worshiping on Sunday will be killed, fined, and imprisoned. So we know that mentality of forcing, it comes from the devil. And we know that Sunday is not the right day of worship. Now, back to the point. Do you know, guys, that there is one particular commandment that people especially disregard, even unfortunately professed Christians, and ironically, that is the 4th commandment. And friends, if you remember with me, the 4th commandment, it starts out with remember. Do you see the irony there? The one commandment that Jesus tells us to remember, right? To always remember. The 4th commandment, that is the commandment that many people either disregard, number one, or number two, they keep the wrong day. In the 4th commandment laid out, in Exodus 20, verse 8 through 11, the Bible tells us that we are to honor the seventh day of the week. But many people, they honor the first day of the week, Sunday. Now, friends, to make this point a bit more clearer for us young people, let me ask you guys a question, all right? What on March 27th, I believe, what do many Americans celebrate? I'm going to give you a few seconds. If you guys said Memorial Day, you are correct. On March 27th, many Americans, they celebrate Memorial Day. God, he has a Memorial Day, and that Memorial Day is the seventh day of the week, the Sabbath. That is to be a reminder for what God did on creation. But the sad reality is, many Christians, they forget it, and unfortunately, many Seventh-day Adventist young people, they might put on their clothes and go to church, but yet they do not keep God's seventh-day Sabbath correctly. And guys, in future videos, we'll get into that. How do we truly keep the Sabbath? So friends, in closing, we do not want to disregard and violate any of God's laws, whether they are his moral laws in the Ten Commandments and also his health laws. Very important. And if we are found disregarding any of God's moral and health laws, it shows we have no love for God. All right, friends? So let us remember that God's laws and also our parents' rules and restrictions are not to keep us away from having fun, but it is to keep us healthy and also safe. Thank you for watching this video. Drop a like, subscribe, share it with the young people. I'm out.